Welcome back to Ben and Danielle Reviews channel. This is Sharita Turner speaking, and this is Ben Myers. Today we're going to talk about our top 40, going all the way back to 31.
Of our favorite games of all time?
Oh, favorite games of all time
for 2025?
Even though we played them in 2024.
Yes. It's the beginning of the year. Every year we have our top 50 list. I have my 100 listed here. I'm probably not going to share that whole list, but I'll do my top 50 this year. And Sharita, this is her second year. This is my fifth year. Yes.
Yeah. See, I remember that.
Yes. And so, without further ado, number 40 on the list. Go with Sharita. What's your number 40 game?
Well, this was number 29 last year. It is the Grand Austria Hotel. I think this went down a little bit just because we haven't played it. And I've added some more games to my repertoire.
Sure.
So I feel like that's why some of these games go down. Not that they're, less than a 9 or less than an 8 or less than a 10.
Sure.
It's just I have more games to rank, and
sure.
So essentially some of them are going to go down a little bit.
Yeah.
But when I first played Grand Austria Hotel, I really didn't like it just because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And then I played it a few more times, and then, like I said, it was my number 29 last year, and it steady moved up, and I really enjoy the complexity of it. I really wish we had the upgraded pieces to look like actual coffee, cake, and what was the other one? Wine
and strudel.
Yeah. And the strudel, yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to think what I really like about it. I don't know. It's really, in my opinion, it's kind of complex.
It can be, for sure. It's definitely a more medium weight dice worker placement game. And it's got like 5 actions of things you can do on your turn, which is getting money or advancing on the emperor track, getting a strudel and cake, getting wine and coffee, preparing rooms, or hiring staff.
It's kind of nostalgic for me in a sense because growing up, my parents had a small cafe called Billings Park Cafe. And so the whole restaurant theme truly brought me back into those good times, serving at the cafe or greeting customers. And then after our cafe burned down, which people burned it down, we survived. We started living in a hotel. So it wasn't called the Grand Austria Hotel. It was called Bay Walk Inn. But it kind of just, I don't know. I know it's really random, but it just made me think of that. And so There were some good times.
Awesome. Yeah, this went down a little bit for you. I thought it might go up a little bit, but just when we haven't played as much lately.
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Well, I will have it a little bit higher on my list, I'm sure.
That's good. What's your number 40?
My number 40 was actually... It's gone down. It's gone down every year. So it debuted at number 10. It was number 15, and then it was 14, and then last year it was 21, and that is Root.
Never played it.
Yeah, so Root is an asymmetric war game in which players play as a woodland faction who are trying to compete for victory points. It's a race to victory points, but each faction plays differently, and the way they score points and the way they interact with the board and other factions on the board is completely different. And so what makes it so difficult is because of that, you have to basically, with new players, you have to teach each individual player in a different game, like each player is playing differently. So you're basically teaching each player a whole different game.
Is that why we have not played that?
Because yes, and it also doesn't play well at 2. It's a 4-player game.
Nice save! Nice save!
Yes. So that is why we haven't played it. The best way, if you want to learn how to play that, get the digital app and learn how to play it, and then Jamie can get the digital app, and someone else can get the digital app, and they can all learn how to play it, and then we'll play it in person.
You're like, I'm not teaching everybody.
That is a... Yeah.
It's like Spirit Island where we all have to play something different.
It's going to be a little harder than that. It's going to be a lot harder than that.
Than Spirit Island?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot harder than Spirit Island.
What?
Yeah.
You said that Spirit Island was like...
It's not the hardest game.
What?
Roots can be way harder than Spirit Island.
Really?
Yeah. you're going to be teaching each person a different, completely different game. But
Wow.
that's why it keeps dropping for me. I enjoy the game a lot. It just doesn't get to the table because it's so hard to table.
Because us dweebs are...
If I'm going to play it, it's going to be on the mobile app, like against the computer AI.
Oh, well, why can't you just tell some of our viewers maybe they can get on the app with you and
I
play with you?
I don't think so. I think there's people that are really good at the game. And
what's your BGA name so we can get some followers for you, some friends on there for you? Can you play Root on the BGA?
No, it's a mobile app.
Never mind.
Ben Myers on BGA, and yours.
Myers spelled Myers.
Yes. And if you want to share yours.
Oh, number 39 is Draft and Write Records. This is new. I've played it once and I really, really enjoyed it. We played it. Was it at Collector's Connection?
I think so. Or
wasn't that the game where we were trying to... Okay, hold on. I'm trying to have a flashback. Like Raven Simone and That's So Raven. Trying to channel. Okay. Yes. There was writing because it was draft. There was... Help me out.
So Draft and Write Records is a draft and write game in which you are going to be having a hand of cards and you're going to pick one card and you're going to activate whatever that effect is, and you're going to mark off something on your board, whether that be a band member that you're building up for your band. You are going to be promoting that band. You are going to be going on tour to a different location on the map. And
yeah, I was thinking it was a different game.
Different game?
I was thinking it was a different game. I was thinking that was Come Together.
Oh, no. Come Together is a different one.
It's a whole different beast.
Oh, that's a little harder game, but yeah. Draft. Did Come Together make your list? I don't think it made your list this year, did it?
I don't know, but all I know is I really like that game. I just forgot. Oh, yeah, it did make my list.
Okay, we'll talk about that later. But Draft and Write Records, what did you like about Draft and Write Records specifically?
I really, really, really love games that you get to write.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's like That's So Clever, you know, crossing off a number, and then if you get a certain amount in a row, you get to cross up and everything. I really like that in this game where you could collect different, CDs or whatnot, and then you could get a prize if you collected a certain amount of things. I don't know, any type of game that requires not only thinking about your move, but also being able to write it. And I don't know, I just love draft and write games. I just love them so much.
Yeah.
Especially because you can play it by yourself too. I don't know about this game, but That's So Clever.
Yep.
I can play by myself or on my phone.
It's on BGA as well.
Oh, we can play it on BGA.
Yep.
I know that was very blah, but
sure.
Just play it and you'll see what I mean.
Yeah, it's a fun one. My number 39 was my number 10 last year.
Wow.
And that's just because it hasn't been played lately. And that is Pandemic Iberia. So, Pandemic Iberia is my favorite version of Pandemic game. I like the aspect of you being able to ride the rails and build up the trains and be able to go from one station to the next. And with that, I think that's a cool concept. And I like the way the diseases work in this game. Like, you get all the things from the base Pandemic, plus you get that really cool rail system. That is really fun. It's gone down out of my top 10 just because last year we were playing it a whole bunch. But this year, I don't think we played it at all.
I think one of the last times we played it last year was with my wife, who she's not the co-op type of player. And we played it with Glow too, so
yeah,
could be a little bit of a player bias. Well, in my opinion. But yeah, I really liked Iberia. I played Iberia, that version of Pandemic first, and then I played the base game, and I was like, wow, the base game is boring. It's still fun, but I feel like this kind of, ruined it for me.
I am looking forward to when we play Pandemic Legacy.
Oh yeah, we still have
We do still have that. I'm looking forward to playing that at some point. That might be a 2-player thing though.
Yeah, probably. Definitely.
But we'll have to we've been really slacking on legacy games, so we got to get back into those.
We've been playing Sagrada a bit, but
A little bit. It's been
and
a
then
bit.
My City.
Yeah. We
Which I
played a
recommend.
lot of My City.
I have these. I go off on these tangents when I speak, but also I get obsessed with certain games, and I just want to play them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like My City. So I like My City them out. And we have My Island, which
Yeah, we started it.
Yeah, we started it, but I feel like we needed a little break from it.
Yeah, we'll get back to it though.
So next on The Price is Right is my number 38, which was 16 last year. Again, like I said, for a lot of the previous games I've played, it fell down just because we haven't played it, and I've just played more games. And one reason why I think it fell down is just because this game needs to be played with 5 or 6 people.
What number was it last year?
It was 16.
Oh, okay.
Now it's 38. It's Dead of Winter.
Oh,
I love
yes.
that game so much. It's
Yes.
like semi-co-op, depending on... Is it the trader?
Yep, Hidden Trader.
Depending on if there's a hidden trader or not. And I like the whole zombie theme, how you're trying to, collect enough food to feed your people, and how if you don't, you have to kill more zombies, and then you have to gather resources, and then if there's a hidden trader, they can try to sabotage you and kill off you guys. But they don't say outright that they're the traitor. They just, like, when we played, Camila is one of my really great friends. She was the hidden traitor, and she played it so well, and I was like, Camila, if you make that move, you're gonna kill me. And it still didn't click in my head that she was the hidden traitor. Like, she did such an awesome job, and she ended up winning the game. So I like that it adds that complexity, because there's not always going to be a traitor. And so you don't know, unless you are the traitor. And so I really like that about the game, and I wish we could bring it to the table again with some more people.
Yeah, that might be a game that we have to play on a Wednesday with everyone here at the house. But this game is very thematic. Like it really immerses you into that world. And it's got the crossroads system, which adds a bit of randomness to the game, because you're flipping over that card every round and something is going to happen, but you don't know what it is. But whatever it's going to be thematic, and it's going to really add to the ambiance of the game.
That just reminded me of Subterra.
Yeah.
Is it Subterra?
Subterra? Yeah.
I used to call it Subterrible, because every time you flip an event card, something bad's going to happen, whether it's like the room be gassed or...
Yeah. I don't think that...
See, but I go off on tangents.
Yeah, Subterra did not make my top 100, and Dead of Winter also dropped out of my top 100 this year.
That's really unfortunate.
But it's something that we need to play more of.
Yeah, but not Subterrible.
Not a fan?
No, I like it. It's just everything that happens in it is terrible.
You just have to have people that are willing to go with it.
We had some sad sack of potatoes playing with us.
Are the same co-op people, yeah.
The same, yeah.
Same people. Yeah. So my number, so that's a good pick. It did not make my top 100 this year, but it's one that could if I kept playing it. Okay. So my number 38 has been on my list every single year that I've done it. And
your list of 1 through 50?
Yeah, it's in my top 50 every year. It's been as high as number 20. I think it was in the 30s last year. Let's see, number 34. Yes, but it's been hovering around this spot.
Okay.
And it just hasn't been hitting the table because it's been played so much. And that's Unmatched. That
was actually one of the first games I think you've ever taught me.
Yeah.
Besides, yeah, it was. I think it was like the first... Yeah, one of the first games we played was Unmatched. I remember that, yep.
And you still kept coming back.
Yep. And then on the third time we hung out at board games, we played, don't tell me, Canvas.
Oh, yeah. Canvas.
Yes.
We had an obsession with Canvas for a while.
Still do.
Yeah. Unmatched is such a good game, though. It's very plug and play. You pick a character and you are battling against other characters, other players with your character, and each player has an individual deck and a health meter, and you're just moving around a board, skirmish style, attacking other players. And there's a competitive scene for this game for sure.
Oh my god, and there's so many different so many different characters. Like, I feel like every time I played it, it's like a totally different game, because like the people you're playing against, they have like different special abilities. You have different special abilities or higher strength or and whatnot. So it's never the same game. I mean, it's so fun, but if you get bored of playing the same things, like this is a game where you can play it and choose different characters, and you'll never like run out of, I guess, ideas of what character to play.
Oh yeah, it's great for that aspect. That's why it's been in my top 50 every year. Last year, I feel like it was played to absolute death, at least on the weeks that you weren't here.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's been a few times that you've missed that we've broken out, especially at Level Up, Unmatched. But it's one I want you to play some more of. It's a fun game.
Definitely, and there's so many different boxes of them.
Oh yeah, there's so many that you can choose which ones you want to get. We have, I think, everything so far except for the Witcher stuff that just came out.
Yeah, so I'm surprised it's not higher on your list if you have everything for Unmatched.
It's in Jamie's top 10.
Oh yeah, she's really good at that game.
She is good at that game.
Okay, so number 37 was a game I wish I would have discovered earlier in our gaming days.
Yeah.
It's called Tiny Towns, and one reason why I really liked it is because it reminded me of my city.
Yeah.
Of it. And I tend to like games that are like patterns and stuff like that. So here you get to, there's several cards, and one card might be like build a church, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one card might be like build a farm, and then if you have a cottage, you get a point for every, or one farm will feed 4 cottages. So you get to build these buildings on a, what'd you say, a 4x4 grid? Or not
5x5.
5x5. It's a square.
Yeah.
And you want to fill in the board as much as possible. You don't want empty spaces because those are negative points. Mm-hmm. And whoever earns the most points, like I was saying, like if you have like one church near a cottage, that might be worth 5 points. And it changes depending on if you're using church, if you're using a bar, if you're using a farm, if you're using like, is there a bakery or something as well?
Yeah, it's very modular. You can choose which buildings you want to use from game to game, and you can change them up from game to game.
And you can also play where you choose. So there's like 4 different colors. Like you can pick like a, was it brick?
Yep, brick, glass, wheat, stone, I think.
Yeah, you could do it where you pick one and then the next player picks one, or you could do it where you flip randomly, and then that way I could add a little bit more complexity instead of just looking at like, oh, I'll go for this color because it's gonna mess up my opponent.
Yeah,
so you can make it easier, you can make it harder. I think it's a fun game to start out with for sure.
And I highly recommend playing with the variant where everyone goes around picking one in turn order. I think that one just makes for way more interesting player interaction. Otherwise, it's just multiplayer solitaire, which is fine in its own right, but you really get some interesting decisions of how can I mess up my opponent, which I think is pretty cool in the regular variant.
I think I'd like that in like a 4-person game.
Sure.
Because when you're playing with 2 people, you have to pay attention. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
It's more fun with 2 players that version, I think.
You think it is? So
I think
screw each other over?
Yeah, where you're intentionally screwing up the person across the table from you. But yeah, it's not in my top 100 this year, but it's a cool game. And it's got a lot of modularity to it.
That is really unfortunate.
It's just so many games. Alright, my number 37 is new to me this year, and it's one that I want to play more. It's just one that we haven't gotten to play much.
Drum roll.
Drum roll. And that is Biome.
Oh!
Yeah, Biome made my top 50. I enjoyed that one.
Me too.
Yeah.
I guess just having baby rabbits is your thing, right?
Yeah.
Were the baby rabbits that we hatched, or what were
baby rabbits and baby birds?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you had to protect them so they didn't get eaten.
That's a good big bird.
Mm-hmm.
Good mama bird right here.
And so it has a lot of similarities to games like Earth, in which you're building up your own grid. This one you're building animals instead of plants. But in this game you have animals that you're going to be playing down and going to be collecting different resources and such. And it's sort of a hand management game. So you're managing the cards in your hand, and you're playing cards in a certain arrangement on your board, and triggering different things. It's a very fun game. Thank you to Lioness Games for sending us a copy for us to check out, and it's one we've been enjoying, and one we have to get to the table more often.
I'm surprised that's not in my top.
Is it not in your top 50?
Maybe it's because I haven't. Maybe it's because when I ranked these, I didn't incorporate that one.
Okay, but that should be in your top 50?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so forget about that garbage phlegm game, and we'll put Biome in that spot instead. All right.
Or Fantastic Factories.
Oh yeah, get rid of that thing.
Okay, so number 36 for me was 24.
Okay.
Last year, and it's Abyss.
Abyss, yes.
Yes.
This is a great game.
I wanted it so bad, but Ben's like, I have it, you don't need it.
Yeah.
Again, it kind of has like that that sea theme that I really like. What are those things called? Lords?
Lords, yep. The Ocean Lords?
The Ocean Lords.
Yep.
Basically, I'm kind of simple when it comes to like stuff that's like either animal themed, water themed, restaurant themed, or draft and rights.
Yep.
And so I like this game because it. Did we play it at 4? Was it best at 4?
It's best at 4.
So played at 4. I haven't played in a very, very long time. But I like the aspect of like earning pearls, and like, don't you have to pay people pearls too?
Yep.
For like, if you're trying to get a certain card, you have to pay like.
Yeah, you can. You have to offer the cards up to other players before you can take them for yourself. And they can buy them from you for pearls.
And then when you gather like a certain color of cards, you can like buy a lord.
Yep.
And those lords can give you like special powers, whether it is, I can't remember some of the special abilities.
There's all kinds of them in the game, but yeah.
I'm not really selling this game right now. I'm not doing a good job.
This is a great pick from you.
It is. It's really fun. I can't remember the special abilities off the top of my head because
There's
it's been
so
long, but.
Yeah. But you have these allies that you're recruiting, and you're turning them in to get lords, and there's so many cool mechanics in the game, from the economic system, which is very simple but very tight and very interesting, to the council system, in which the cards that you don't take are going to be available for your opponents to take and use against you.
Mm-hmm.
It's got some really cool concepts in this game that are just don't get appreciated enough.
Did that make your list?
Well, it'll be on my list later on.
Okay, so it did make your list.
It'll be on my list later on.
So I can redeem myself later?
Yeah, you can talk about it later.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we'll talk about this game a little later. But my number 36 was my number 47 last year.
Oh, it moved up.
It moved up, but it's been as high as number 12. It's been on my list every year.
Okay, can I guess?
Yes.
Everdell.
No.
Oh.
47 last year?
Oh. Grand Austria Hotel?
47? What would have been my 47 that it just hasn't been played very much, but it's been getting played recently, and it's...
Wait, let me guess. Splendor?
No.
Wait, no.
You're close, though. It's Azul.
Oh!
Yeah.
How am I close?
Azul.
Okay,
they both had 2-player versions come out. I still like the base Azul as the best. I've played Azul. I've played the new Duel. I've played. I want to say Summer Pavilion is the one I've played. I haven't played Stained Glass or Queen's Garden, but base Azul is still my favorite of the group. I like the tile aspect, where you're drafting tiles and placing them on your board. I actually like the 2-player version of this, where it's very cutthroat, in the sense you're actually, with 2 players, you're like genuinely trying to screw over your opponent.
And I played the game and didn't even know what the heck I was doing.
You're talking about the dual version, right?
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the base version.
Yeah, but even the base version, if we don't do the base tile one,
Yeah.
I don't know how to play other than having that pattern one.
Yeah.
I don't know how to play the free for all.
Oh, don't play that, the version then. If he doesn't.
No, I don't
sing
know.
to you,
I've never played it before.
Yeah, that's fine.
You would have to show me. Like,
It's okay.
It's a whole different world.
It's basically just like you get to decide how it goes, how you design your grid, but you can only have one of each design in each row in each column.
Oh, okay.
So you're creating your own grid.
It requires you to use your brain.
A little bit more, but yes, it's Azul's a really fun game, and
it is.
And yeah, it's
Azul Duel is brutal because I don't know what I was doing.
Oh well.
I loved it though, but I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, I personally prefer the base Azul, but maybe that'll change with more plays. But yeah, base Azul is still really fun. It's in my top 50 still after all these years.
Oh, it's on my list too. Oh, it moved up.
Cool. All right, what are we on now?
35.
35.
I have not played this in a super long time.
Okay.
It originally was number 15th, but now it's 35, and it's Sea, Salt, and Paper. When we first played this game, this is when I think it first came out, and I was like, Ben, I gotta have this game.
Yeah.
Gotta have it. Yeah. All I remember about it is if you get all 4 mermaids, you automatically win the game. It's a cute little game that you can play with, 6 people? Or 5?
4?
I thought you could...
2 to 4.
I think
it's 2 to 4.
Really?
I think so. Yeah, I might be wrong. But yeah, this is a cool game. When I first played it, I didn't care for the game. But the more I played it, the more I appreciate the nuances of the game and the getting the tug and pull of all the things that you don't take are being offered to your opponent to be used against you in a very direct way, because they're using those cards and they're creating pairs, and they're doing that to steal your cards, and they are using those to get points that you could have gotten, and you can only take so many cards into your hand because you only get 1 card per turn.
Oh yeah, and you can only score them at certain times.
Yeah, and you can also end the round at certain times to deny your opponent's points.
Oh yeah, we should play that. That would have been a good one to bring for a Wednesday game night for new peeps.
I don't know about new people. That might start some fights, but we'll see. It's a fun game though. I'm glad it made your list. It's not my top 100.
That's unfortunate.
But hey. All right. My number 35 is new to the list.
Okay.
And it's a crossover with you.
Okay.
A Draft and Write Records.
That was... We might as well just put it at the same number.
Yeah, so Draft and Write Records is a really cool concept where you're taking the and write and you're turning it into a drafting game. And one that plays relatively quickly for the kind of game that it is. And you're building up your own rock band, and you're taking them on tour, and you're promoting that in different ways. And it has a lot of combos involved with it, where one thing makes you cross out another thing, which will give you another thing to cross out, which will...
And then another thing, and another thing, and then another thing.
Yep.
And then you score. Ow. Well, moving on to number 34.
All right.
Was my number 4. This dropped, not because I don't love the game anymore. I just played so many newer games. It's Riverside.
Riverside. That was in your top 10 last year.
I know. I love it. I do love it.
Yeah.
Again, it has to do with writing, and it has that water theme.
Yep.
We're on a cruise ship traveling, I don't know, somewhere in Norway, Europe. And
it's like an Arctic cruise.
Yeah, it's an Arctic cruise. So bring your bathing suits. You have different, what is it called?
Excursions?
Different excursions. And tickets to sell.
Yep, for these different
excursions. And you have somebody who rolls the dice.
Yep.
And depending on what the number is, that'll determine how many spaces you can go. It also will determine which dice you can take without spending any heat. So like for instance, say the main die was a 3, if you choose any dice that is higher than a 3, you're gonna have to pay. Say the dice is 5, you're gonna have to pay 2 more heat to use that dice.
Yep.
And that's what you can roll, or that's what you can use to say, hey, I want to mark off 5 green spots. So marking off 5 green spots may get you to mark off something in a blue ticket, which may get you extra points. This game is really fun. You can also play it solo. But going back to it, the game is fairly quick. I guess depending on the person who rolls for how many spaces the cruise ship goes. Now we've played it where somebody's gotten 6s and 5s throughout the game, and so we only had a couple rounds and people barely got any points. But I really do like it and I enjoy it, and I'm glad I got to play it right when it came out.
Yeah, this one was available overseas for a long time before it was available in the States, and I'm happy we finally got a copy over here.
Didn't you have to donate a kidney or something to get this?
I might have had to import it, but I'm glad it's available now.
I love how you imported it and then it became available.
That's how it goes, though. I've done that. I'll do that with my. I've done that with my next selection myself.
Mm-hmm.
With the next one on the list. But yeah, Riverside was my number 61 this year.
Hey, at least it made it.
Yes.
All right.
So speaking of imported games, this one was the one I imported from France. Actually came from Canada, but it's a French game.
I thought it was from Antarctica.
Yeah, something like that. No.
It's not from Antarctica?
34? Number 34? Number 34?
It's not from Antarctica?
No.
Oh.
What are you talking about? My number 34?
It's from Antarctica.
No.
You imported it from Antarctica.
No, it actually came from Board Game Bliss. I ordered it. They had one copy available. It's a French game, and it's called Eloa.
Oh, yeah, we played this. I remember.
Yeah, so you play as a chieftain in a cave tribe of sorts, and you are building up building up your tribe of people and collecting resources around a campfire, and you're drafting. It's open draft, and you're drafting a card, and then it's got resources associated with it, and each card's going to have a point value as well as resources that need to be paid to get those. And then there's also items that let you store resources onto them for victory points.
Like bones?
Yeah.
Isn't that the...
Bones are wild, yeah.
Yeah, so... Yeah. I mean, the name sounds French, but I don't understand the French theme. As somebody who's a French Canadian, I don't understand it.
I think it was just published by Bombyx in France. They're stationed in France, so.
Well, I'm French.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I'm really looking forward to this game being available for more people here in the States, but right now it's only really available to the rest of the world, but fingers crossed on that.
And we live only 2.5 hours, 2-ish hours from Thunder Bay, so, if you need a copy or dash, we can drive up there. We got our passports.
It's actually sold out there now.
Oh, they did? Oh.
Yeah, it's sold out there now.
Oh. Well,
all right.
I guess we can go see some waterfalls.
Cool. Yeah, that's my 34, Eloa.
My number 33 is Cascadia. It was number 21. Again, going back to my themes. Animals, water, and what? Writing games.
Yeah.
So this one is, I'm trying to think how I explained it. Cascadia is it had a baby with, what was I describing it as? Remember when I first played it, I was like, this reminds me of...
Carcassonne?
Carcassonne meets... No, not Splendor. Was it?
I don't know. It was really early on, so you hadn't played a lot of games.
I forgot.
Calico, maybe? No?
That cat one. No, so Cascadia. So you're playing with, let's say, me and Ben are playing. And you can draft tiles and animals, whether it's an eagle, help me out. A hawk, a salmon.
A bear.
A fox and a bear.
Yep.
And an elk.
Yep.
And you have to draft these animals, and they'll be in the beginning of the game, it'll be you'll get 5 points if you have an eagle, or an eagle 5 spaces away from another eagle in the same line. Or to be like, if you have a group of 3 bears together, that'll be 10 points. And so every time you play the game, it's different. So for what might be a lot of points in this particular game, might not be a lot of points in the other game. So I like that you have to like think about where you want your animals to go. And also there's certain tiles that say you can only have, say, a bear or a eagle on this tile. I think it's fun. I think it's a good game to start. It's kind of there's a roll and write one that we had, but it got damaged because my energy drink exploded all over the car and in the backpack. Definitely it's fun. I highly recommend it. But if you're feeling a little, frisky and you really want that game really bad, I highly recommend it. You don't put it in the same bag as any liquid products. Because It took a bit of a swim.
Oh yeah.
That was my fault though. But it was fun while we played halfway through it. So I mean, if you want a little faster version of Cascadia, a little complexity, I highly recommend it. You can get it on Amazon for like $24.99. Yep.
But you're talking about the base Cascadia right now.
Yeah, I know, but I was talking about I was going off on a tangent.
Yeah, and they got a brand new Cascadia Junior out right now too. There's a little kids version if you wanted to. Yeah.
Might have a better chance of winning on that one.
Yeah. So Cascadia was my number 58 this year, so it missed my top 50. But
what was it last year?
30, I want to say.
Wow, and you talk about my stuff going down.
Yeah, my stuff's gone down a bit. Speaking of games, this one has not gone down. This one's actually gone up. But it's been on my list every year. It was my number 40 last year, but it's been as high as my number 19.
Calico.
No. Calico missed my top 50 as well this year.
I guess you're not into feline.
It was actually a crossover with you, though. From a previous video.
Carcassonne.
No.
Space Base.
It's Space Base. Yeah, so Space Base is a great, sort of engine building game in which you are rolling dice on your turn and you are going to activate one of the 12 sectors on your board, or 1 or 2 of your sectors on your board, and you're going to be collecting credits. Those credits will be used to upgrade your ship fleet, and you're going to be trying to race to get to victory points. And it's got a cool concept where when you spend money, you don't get change back. You go back to 0, and then you go up to your income again.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to build up your income, because that's where you're going to go back to. On that, it's a cool game, and it's definitely one I've played a bit on BGA this year. So that's why it went up a little bit.
Okay.
It's a fun game on BGA, and it plays pretty quickly on there.
I'll play it with you in BGA.
Cool.
So the next one actually is fairly a new game.
Yep.
Not just to me, but to the whole wide world.
Okay.
Or is it just to the US?
Okay.
Anyways, it just sounded cool to say that. It is called River Valley Glassworks.
Oh, yes.
Now, going back to my themes of water, animals, and roll and rights.
Yep.
This has to do with what? Water!
And animals.
And animals. And crystals.
Crystals, yeah. You like crystals.
Not myth. Not crystal myth. We like crystals. Okay, but not that.
Yeah.
So I like this game because you get to draft crystals, and there's crystals that are more common, which are less points, and there's crystals that are higher points, which are least common. And so what you want to do is you want to gather as many of those crystals as you can in a certain grid. Now, if you grab more crystals than you can fit in your grid, those are negative points, right?
Yep.
So at the end of the game, you want to be able to have the longest or the highest rock or crystals on a grid.
Rows, yeah.
In a row, and
columns.
in columns, and also row, because that's how you earn extra points.
Yep.
And so what you're doing is, there'll be like a little pond that has like 5 crystals, right? So if you run out of crystals, you can just grab a certain amount of crystals from that pond. But in each turn, you can grab a tile, or like a part of the river will actually have like 2 crystals on it. One will have 1 crystal, and you can choose those crystals and then replenish them, so the next player will get to gather more crystals. And so you can kind of like try to, like, I don't know, harvest some of the other ones that the other players need.
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of add a competitive feel for it. When I first played it, I liked the game. I just really struggled with the scoring, and I think I still kind of struggle with the scoring. I just like to kind of gather the most scarce crystals.
Okay.
And then I just have Ben score it for me, because I don't know what the heck I'm doing.
Okay. What number was this?
Oh, 32.
32. Okay. This was my number 69 this year.
The fact that you can just pull it off of your dictionary brain,
yeah,
is pretty awesome.
I just looked.
Oh. When I was going off on a tangent?
Yeah. Yeah. But it's a good game. It made my top 100, and that, which is really good for a first year game. And All Play's been kind of killing it with a lot of their games lately, so.
All right.
Awesome. So my number 30, we're on 32. Number 32, we were talking about Bourbon Right games.
Bourbon Right?
Bourbon Right, you know, doing things, rolling right, flipping right, drafting right, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but we're using a verb?
Verbs, different verbs. You're doing things in writing.
Okay, what is the game?
It's one of my favorites from that genre, and that is Welcome to.
Oh, I played that one wrong. Wait, how's that a verb?
It's flipping right.
So why'd you call it a verb?
Verb and right, because it's a genre of games.
Oh. Twiddle smart and twiddle dee.
Yeah, so Welcome to Your Perfect Home is a game in which you are building up your own neighborhood and you got these numbers from 1 to 15, and you are just building up different homes in this neighborhood, and you have goals of different clusters you're trying to build up. And some of them, you're in neighborhoods, you're going to be building up parks, and some you're building swimming pools and the likes, and sometimes you're building businesses and trying to get the most points and not have any building refusals. And it's a fun game.
Yeah, I played it wrong the first time I played it.
But you'll have to play it again.
I highly recommend playing it the correct way. If I gave you any good advice.
Okay. It's been on my list every single year. It's been as high as number 12.
Wow, you really like that game.
Yeah. Last year is my number 23. So it's been in the 20s. I think this is the lowest it's ever been. Oh no, it's been 38. But it's been pretty high for a long time, and it's been on my list every year. So I still enjoy that game, and it's fun on BGA too.
Okay, this is gonna be funny, y'all. Excuse me for a moment. Okay, 31 is Colorado. I was like, Ben, what is Colorado? And you're like, it's a game where you have 1, 2, 3 cards, and aren't we like sheriffs or something?
No, we're just trading cards.
No, but what?
We're trying to explore at
weren't
Colorado.
We're mines or something?
We're something like that. I don't know the whole theme of it, but we're exploring the different regions of Colorado, and you are asking for cards on your turn, very Go Fish style. And
yeah, but then if you have the card, don't you have to give it?
Yep.
I like that a lot, instead of just like, oh, I don't have the card, but if you have the card, you have to give it. I really want to play it again, because I really, I remember feeling like I really enjoyed it. I guess I haven't played enough of it to really like explain, besides the fact that like when you're asking other players for cards, they have to hand it up to you. They can't lie. Well, I guess they could lie, but then they're not playing the game correctly.
Yep.
Sorry, that's all I have to say about it right now.
Yeah, this is a game that it does not get very much attention, and it also doesn't help that it's not available in the States. It's never had a U.S. release.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then how'd you smuggle it over here?
That's another... import game that I've gotten.
Did you smuggle it like drugs? How'd you smuggle it over here?
I had it shipped over. Yeah.
Was it shipped or in a submarine?
It was shipped.
Via.
There was a guy, a random guy. It's like, hi, is this Ben? That walked into my work and handed me a miscellaneous package one time. But
For real?
yeah.
Did it travel here transatlantic? Where'd it come from?
I want to say it came from Canada, but it's a French game again.
It didn't have to be shipped if it came from Canada. We could have just drove right over to the border and be like,
No, it's okay.
can we go to the border right now and get it?
We have the game.
I know, but if we wanted to get it for our viewers.
I think I bought the last copy again.
Ever?
It was one of the games that they imported in Canada from France.
Oh.
Again, it's another import game because they sometimes will sell imported games. They'll have a couple copies of them, and that's another one I paid to have an import copy because
Nice.
I wanted the game, and it's a great game. My number 31 is new to me this year, and it's my favorite probably racing game, like strictly racing game.
Ooh, I bet you I know what it is.
Yeah.
Does it rhyme with feet?
It's Heat Pedal to the Metal. Yeah, so Heat Pedal to the Metal is a great racing game in which you are going to be shifting gears, and your gear is going to determine how many cards you have to pay on your turn, and you have to slow down around turns. And it's got some cool catch-up mechanisms with the slipstreaming and with the getting to go an extra space when you're behind. And I've definitely seen people come from behind in this game to win.
Yep.
But I've also seen people that just they got behind and then they got frustrated and just didn't try anymore.
Or they gunned it and then they lost.
Yeah, they burned out. But you gotta also be careful that you don't burn out your engine. Yeah.
It's fun. I like it.
Yeah. I don't know if you played it enough to make it your top 50, but
It would make my top 100
cool.
if I had a top 100.
Yeah. Like next year we'll have a top 100, I'm sure. Yeah. So that is our 40 through 31 of our top 50 games of all time. Wanted to thank everyone for tuning into this list and let us know what some of your favorite games are. And catch us on the next one. Have a great rest of your day.
Night, morning, whatever it shall be. Enjoy life.